towards Delhi, and they are very clear that they will continue this fight against the farm laws.
All right, we have a guest joining us live with us, Shehzad Poonawala, political analyst. Also joining us is Sujata Paul, who's also an analyst. But before I come across to you, I want to quickly go across to our reporter on ground. We have Gurpreet joining us live. Gurpreet, you've spoken to some of these farmers. The larger question is that when religious functions have been curtailed, when political rallies have been curtailed to a very small number of people compared to what they were earlier, why is it that the farmers do not feel the need to ensure that they sit at home to beat Corona, while they could have had a symbolic protest of maybe say 5 or 10 people? Instead, what we are seeing is mass mobilization at a time when the second wave is just peaking. Gurpreet, can you hear me?
Well, that we can see, we are reporting from that Kanori border where we can see a huge number of the farmers, they are moving towards Delhi, and this is the stoppage where they are having the food. I'll request my Vijay to show that they are having a food here, and after having a food here, they will move towards Delhi. But if we can see that this time they are not moving on tractors and trolleys, they have hired the local cabs, they have hired the taxis also, and they have also hired a lot of buses. On the lot of buses, they are moving from Punjab towards Delhi, and since morning we have been seeing that in a large convoy they are moving in parts. First part, these are the live pictures. They are having the food on the way, and they are moving. And if we can talk about the COVID norms, that no norms have been followed because they are not wearing masks, they are not even maintaining social distancing. They are tight packed in all these vehicles because they feel that the fight against farm bill should be continued. When we confronted some of the farmers leaders that why they are not following these COVID protocols, norms of COVID, they say that they have already decided that if they are going to die with corona, only few people will die, but at the same time they want to fight because they are fighting for their livelihood. So this time the farmers, they are not using tractors and trolleys, they are just using the local cabs. They have hired the cabs from the locality, and they have moved a huge number of farmers. They have moved not only from this Kanori border, they have moved from the Dabwali border also, Sardulgarh border also, towards Haryana, and from 12 onwards they have already marching towards Delhi, and the slogan was very clear. On April 21st they wanted that 21,000 farmers should reach at the border, and once they reach there,
Right.
more and more farmers will join them. But the questions are,
well, all eyes also on the 24th when the Sanyut Kisan Union also, in fact, is planning to mobilize farmers on the 24th. All eyes on that as well. Gurpreet, thanks so much for joining us with a ground report. Let me take this across to our guest. Now, we have with us Sujata Paul and Shehzad Poonawala. Sujata Paul, I'm coming to you first. When we have religious functions that have been cancelled or drastically reduced in terms of the presence of individuals, we have political rallies in West Bengal where it has been limited to about 500 very small.
I agree with you on many points, but there is one important point that we must not forget. We live in a democracy, and this is an organic protest. And this has happened because the pandemic was used by the Prime Minister to bring in the 3 farm laws. Is it not necessary for the Prime Minister, if he's so concerned about the people of the country, to take back the farm laws and tell the farmers that we will discuss and ensure that stakeholders' opinions are taken into account before we come up with laws again? Why can't the Prime Minister come forward? He is responsible for people's lives. As far as 500 people, the number being restricted to 500 people in West Bengal rallies is concerned, why is the Prime Minister not leading by example? Over there also, he was feeling very happy. He was cheering the crowds when he saw those large crowds. Kumbh was invited for by him. This is not a protest by invitation. This is a protest because the government has used the pandemic.
Restricted to 500 people in West Bengal rallies is concerned, why is the Prime Minister not leading by example? Over there also, he was feeling very happy. He was cheering the crowds when he saw those large crowds. Kumbh was invited for by him. This is not a protest station. This is a protest because the government has used the
points one by one. I want to get to the points one by one. I want to bring in Shehzad Poonawalla on the first point that you made, which is that the onus is on the Prime Minister to withdraw the laws. Shehzad Poonawalla, please respond to that.
You know, Madhav, I wish the corona pandemic would say that, oh, this is an organic protest, it's being held to uphold democratic rights and against the black farm laws, and therefore we will not infect those who are participating. But unfortunately, Madhav, that is not the case. Today, Delhi has at least 30,000 cases per day, 32% positivity rate. These people will come and infect themselves, and they may even infect others and go back with the infection. So this is when Kumbh Mela was happening, whom did we blame? We blame the state government. We put pressure on the state government. It had to be cut down. Thrissur Puram, you come from Kerala, it has been curtailed and cut down. When every super spreader event has been curtailed and cut down, no matter how significant it is, no matter how many democratic rights and religious rights are involved, then what is so special about the farm laws agitation? This means that in case of farm law agitation, these Andolan GVs want to become Corona GVs. They want to put pandemic below politics. They want to put votes above lives. Otherwise, these Yogendra Yadav, Rakesh Tikkat, they have taken the vaccine. But these poor people without social distancing masks, what happens to their health? Mother, what happens to the health of the reporters you have deputed today to cover this event? Whose lives matter? Don't these lives matter? Will Rahul Gandhi take responsibility or not? Will Punjab CM Kamrinder Singh take responsibility or not? Whose health are we risking? This is the question
Okay,
that we
let me
need
come
to
down
ask.
to that. Let me come down to that. Sujata Paul, yeah, I think that's a very pertinent question. Sujata Paul, I want to get to this one particular point of what the Punjab government is doing. And the reason I'm saying this is this. Now, the April 6th...
This is not not concentrated in the state. It is a protest which is taking place all over the country. And Ghazipur border is not in Punjab. This is part of Uttar Pradesh.
That it does not want political
Yes,
gathering.
I agree that they are marching
Why
from...
is it not enforcing it strictly in
Yes.
the case of these farmers? It should say what it is and do what it is actually saying.
They...
This is not
Well, I am
not
going to come-
concentrated in the state.
I'm-
It is a protest which is taking place all over the country, and Ghazipur border is not in Punjab.
Ma'am, farmers are marching from Punjab, please. Sujata Paul.
Madhav, I am going on saying one thing again and again, that it is the responsibility of the government which brought in these laws using the pandemic. Now it is for the government to move back, because farmers are protesting all over the country. And what did the farmers say? They are saying that they are willing to sacrifice their lives. If it is corona that they have to sacrifice their lives for, it is better that they do that rather than have all the farmers dying. And I'm happy that today Shehzad Poonawalla said that these are poor farmers. Agreed, they are poor farmers, and let's not risk their lives. It is the responsibility of the government, and the buck stops there.
They are saying that they're willing to sacrifice their lives. If it is corona that they have to sacrifice their lives for, it is better that they do that rather than have all the farmers dying. And I'm happy that today Shehzad Poonawalla said that these are poor farmers. He agreed, they are poor farmers, and let's not risk their lives. It is the responsibility of the
Okay, stay with us.
government, and the
Stay with
buck
us. We
stops
have some
there.
breaking news.